Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. My name is Dan Clubb and this is my match reaction after Liverpool beat Sparta Prague 5-1 over in the Czech Republic to all but secure our place in the final 8 of the Europa League. Yeah, rampant display from the Reds and a pretty much perfect night's work. We're going to go through some of the positives, some of the negatives to come out from it as well in terms of the performance and a little bit of injury news as well to cover in the next few minutes. But yeah, I think a lot of people went into this game with one, if not both eyes, firmly fixed on the game of the weekend. Obviously a huge encounter with Manchester City with implications and ramifications when it comes to the Premier League title race. But Jurgen Klopp, as is so often the way during his time at Liverpool, only concentrated on the next game, and that was very much evident in the team he selected. He went strong, don't get me wrong, there were some changes in there, and I think he had a game plan to try and get the game won and then to make your changes thereafter, which worked for the most part, but there's one or two potentially enforced changes he maybe had to make that he probably didn't want to, and it maybe in hindsight he might have rested a couple more, who knows. But ultimately, in terms of this performance, in terms of this tie, it's very much job done. I think, as I mentioned earlier, Liverpool, it'll take a miracle, the miracle of all miracles, for Liverpool not to get through, let's put it that way. And what it does allow us to do as well, potentially, is name a slightly more heavily rotated side next week. Maybe we can afford to rest a couple. You probably have a few lads in reserve on the bench, but in terms of tonight, to full go on to the goals and the performance and stuff like that, I think obviously getting some minutes into szoboszlai was important, which we do. We actually end up getting a goal as well, which would be a nice little boost to his confidence. Mo Salah, likewise, he comes on for the final 10-15 minutes. He does score, but it's ruled out for offside. I'm not entirely sure why. Obviously offside is offside, but the angle I've seen is very much onside. Now, I'm not preempting sort of a Luis Diaz at Spurs away situation here, but because it's not as blatantly obvious as that. However, he does look very onside. It would have been nice for him, obviously, strolls back onto the pitch after being away for weeks again and finds the back of the net. But in essence, he does do that. He just never counted. So, nice finish from him, but the goal actually didn't stand. But in terms of the goals, in terms of the game, it was a bit frantic, to be honest. Like, Liverpool started well. We won the ball high on a couple of occasions. Wataru Endo created the first half chance for Darwin Nunez. Nunez actually rounded the keeper, did probably the hardest part of the job, and then kind of fluffed his lines a little bit with his shot, and never, ever threatened to score, to be honest with you. A bit of a wild swinger with his left foot. But moments after that, we do score, and it's Alexis Mac Allister inspired. Alexis Mac Allister is the one that ends up sticking the ball in the back of the net as well, because he wins the ball high again, beats his defender to a loose ball on the edge of the box and nicks it away from him and induces the foul whilst doing so. And it's a blatant penalty, absolutely nailed on, no two ways about it. Ref gives it the time, VAR check it, nothing doing. It is a nailed on penalty, and Mac Allister sticks it away, bottom left corner. And we've kind of been waiting, I guess, for Mac Allister to get a pen while he's been on the pitch. Obviously, with Salah not playing, and Nunez has kind of been the one, but Mac Allister's felt like he's probably the most sort of safe penalty taker, and he definitely proved that. It was a really well taken penalty, never looked in doubt, never looked phased, and yeah, nice moment for him, and deserved, because obviously he gets his assist against Forest, but he's been massively influential in the past few weeks when we've needed a big player to step up. I think Mac Allister has been at the heart of everything Liverpool have done, and that was definitely the case tonight. But then it was the Darwin Nunez show in terms of goals for the Reds, but it wasn't plain sailing, it wasn't about the odd scare, and Keith Keller had to come up with a few big saves. Joe Gomez with a big old clearance off the line as well, following one of those Kelleher saves. So Liverpool were living dangerously, let's put it that way, defensively. It wasn't assured, it wasn't watertight, it was far from it at times, to be honest. There's a few individual errors sort of thrown in amongst that. I think Kanate and Quanta were both culpable at times, Andy Robertson likewise, and Prague were having a go. Like, even though they went 1-0 down, they had the wind behind them in terms of the crowd and the fan base, and it was hostile and they were up for it. And yeah, they laid more than one glove on Liverpool, I think it's fair to say. Obviously, they get the goal early in the second half, comes from Conor Bradley own goal. But yeah, Prague were good value for the game, let's put it that way. A 5-1 scoreline might have flattered Liverpool. I think I said downstairs at half-time, it could have easily been like 5-3 by half-time, and then possibly could have ended like 8-4. 8-5 maybe. It was one of those games. It was a little bit frantic, a little bit wild, a little bit chaotic at times. Not perfect for Liverpool, but again, ultimately, when you look at the scoreline, 5-1, you take that all day long, wouldn't you? Every day of the week, twice on a Sunday. So yeah, can't really complain. But just to touch on the two goals from Darwin. First one, exceptional. This is Darwin Nunez's world at the minute. He is just I said in the Umbu earlier on, you got to strike when the iron's hot sometimes with these footballers. Certainly ones like as mercurial as Darwin Nunez is, and he's proving that because he gets half a yard, he makes it all for himself, to be fair, and he shifts it out of his feet, and he just thinks, I'm 35 yards out here at an angle. I'm just going to try and be luck, and he hits it beautifully, he really does. It ends up, the keeper's probably going to take a little bit of blame because it ends up quite central, but it's a well-struck shot, it dips, it bends, and it beats him. So, yeah, wonderful goal. And then he gets another one moments before half-time. Really well-taken volley. This one's arguably better because he has time to think about it. It's across the keeper. It's not an easy finish for someone like Darwin Nunez who likes to go the other way if he can possibly help it. But it's a really well-struck volley. And, yeah, finds the bottom corner. And the type of goal we haven't seen enough of from Darwin Nunez. It feels like when he does have time to think, more often than not, that's kind of his downfall. On this occasion, anything but. Really, really well struck volley, like I said, and a boss goal for him. And yeah, Liverpool in the ascendancy by that point at half time, 3-0 up, seems to be coasting, a little bit chaotic at times at the back, a little bit of mess at times at the back. Like I said earlier, Keith Keller to the rescue more than once. But second half started the same. First 5-10 minutes, we obviously conceded the Conor Bradley own goal, and we lost Ibu Konate. I mentioned the negatives earlier on, and he goes off injured, having to have chase back. And yeah, Joe Gomez went off at half time for Conor Bradley. Hopefully that was pre-planned. Hopefully there's no issue with Gomez because he's another one who's been brilliant in recent weeks, and obviously, as I say, provided that epic goal line clearance in the first half. But yeah, Ibu Konate goes off, Virgil van Dijk comes on, Nunez follows shortly after, he heads off. I imagine that was pre-planned because obviously he's only just back from an issue himself. Fingers crossed that's the case. But yeah, ultimately Luis Diaz gets a goal, and that kind of calms us down then. Prague had a good go for 10-15 minutes, scored in that time as well. But like I say, Diaz gets a goal. Lovely work from Conor Bradley. Fed into Luis Diaz by Harvey Elliott, and Diaz, via a deflection, made it 4-1 before szoboszlai rounded it off right at the end. But yeah, like I say, Liverpool, job done. Second leg should be relatively straightforward now. Should be able to rest a couple as well. All eyes on Man City after that. Hopefully Konate's all right. Hopefully no issue with Joe Gomez. Hopefully no issue with Darwin Nunez as well. And yeah, hopefully Salah has no problem on the fallout from this game. Came on 10-15 minutes, boss to have him back. Hopefully there's no issues arising from that as well. So loads more content to do. I best go and do it all. See you soon. Bye for now.